Good morning, students. How are you? I hope all are fine. Myself, Kalyani, and I am here to teach you the English grammar. Okay, I am here to teach you the English grammar. You have been learning the English grammar from the primary classes onwards, 6th, 7th, 8th onwards. You have been learning the English grammar. So, even though I am here to just recall your previous knowledge in your English grammar. Okay, so you all know about English grammar. You have been learning from the lower sections onwards. So, I would like to know one answer from you. So, why we need to learn the English grammar? Why we need to learn the English grammar? Why we have to learn the English grammar? Do you have the answer? So, some members may know the answer, some members may not know the answer. So, no problem. So, why we need to learn the English grammar means, so what is, first of all, what is the English grammar? What is the grammar? So, grammar is a language, and it is very important to know or to talk about the language. Understood? So, grammar is a language which helps us to understand or to talk about the language. Grammar also helps us to make the words, to make the sentences, and to make the paragraphs in a clear and precise manner. So, overall, what I want to say means grammar helps us to make the sentences clear and to make the paragraphs and to understand it in a proper manner. Grammar will help us, isn't it? So, how the grammar will help us means I will tell you. So, grammar helps us to put the words together in a sensible order. To put the words together in a sensible order. For example, here I am going to give the some words here, which are like jumbled words. They are: he likes to sweets eat. So here are the some of the group of words. What I mentioned earlier, English grammar helps us to put the words together in a sensible order or in a meaningful manner. Okay, now let's see. He likes to eat sweets. He likes to eat sweets. He likes to eat sweets. Now, if you observe this sentence, I have put the words together in a sensible order or in a meaningful sentence, isn't it? So, to make the words, to put the words together or to make the sentences, we should know the knowledge of the English grammar. Unless if you don't have the proper English grammar, you will not able to create the meaningful sentences in a sensible manner. And even though if you want to talk with anybody in your class or with anybody in English, you should know the proper sentences. If you don't know the how to make the sentences in a sensible manner, then they will make us you to let us down, means it will make you degrade in front of others. So to make a proper sentences, to speak with others in a proper manner, you should know the you should know the English grammar. Understood, ma? So this is the main reason why we should know the English grammar, or why we should learn the English grammar. And one more important thing I want to say, grammar is the fundamental fundamental principle of language, fundamental organizing principle of language. So grammar is the fundamental 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 organizing fundamental organizing principle of language. organizing principle of language. So, simply we can say for any language, grammar is the basic. Our grammar is the basic for the particular language. That's why the English grammar is considered here fundamental organizing principle of language. Without knowing the particular grammar in how to make the sentences or how to speak or how to write, there is no sensible order in the particular sentences. Is it clear for you? So that's why we used to learn the English grammar to make proper sentences or to make any paragraphs or to talk with anybody in a proper manner. We need to learn the English grammar. So now you people know why we need to learn the English grammar. So, and also the grammar is the fundamental organizing principle of language. In a simple we can say what grammar is the basics for the language. So I hope now you understood why we need to learn the grammar. If you don't have the proper grammar knowledge, if you speak in front of anybody, they'll make fun of you because of your improper language in a not a proper manner. So understood, no? So you have to concentrate on the English grammar. So let us start. So I want to tell you the from the basic onwards already you have learned in your primary classes. So I will give just a brief introduction about the previous the grammar what you have learned in your primary classes. So for the basic of the grammar you have learned from your primary classes and all, you have learned about the some basics. So let me start the Kadbava. So I want to recall the previous knowledge in brief, not in detail. Already you know, but even though we are starting the English grammar after this long period, so I want to just recall it from the basic onwards. So when we speak or when we write, we used to use the words, and that words we used to put together, and that makes a sentence. For example, so here I am going to write one sentence to you. Suresh, boy, good, class. Suresh, boy, good, class. So what I said you, the group of words when put together will make a sentence. Do you think it is a sentence? But it doesn't give the complete meaning, the complete meaning or the proper meaning. So what is sentence? A sentence is a group of words which gives the complete meaning or the proper meaning. We call it as a sentence. Now look here. Suresh is a good boy. Suresh is a good boy in his class. Now it is a now this sentence, now this group of words which gives the complete meaning, we call it as a sentence. Understood? So what is sentence? A sentence is a group of words which gives you the complete meaning or the proper meaning. We call it as a sentence. Okay, understood? What is sentence? A sentence is a group of words which gives you the complete meaning or the sensible meaning, or which have sense. Senses means what? Which has a meaning. Okay, is called a sentence. So now you know what is sentence. A sentence is a group of words which has a proper sense or which has a proper meaning, is called as a sentence. Now, so while making sentence, here I made one sentence. While making sentence, what the sentence should have? Now that I am asking another question to you. First, what I said you, what is sentence I said. which is a group of words which has a meaning is called a sentence. Now what I am asking, to make a sentence, what I required to make a sentence, what I required, and how we can make a sentence, how we can make a sentence. For example, if you want to prepare any food item in your home, you used to have some idea. For example, first we have to on the stove, we have to put the pan. Like this, some procedures we used to follow, like these steps we used to follow while we used to prepare any food item. In the same manner, what makes a sentence? What makes a sentence? You already know. The sentence should contains the subject. The sentence contains the subject, and the remaining one we used to call it as a predicate. Call it as a predicate. Already you know what is subject and what is a predicate. It means what? The sentence contains mainly two parts. The sentence contains mainly two parts. One is the subject and another one is the predicate. The sentence contains how many parts? Two parts. Subject and the predicate. What is a subject and what makes a sentence means the subject is a main person which we are talking about. Okay, a subject is a main person which we are talking about. Now, what is a predicate? Predicate, it is nothing but it is predicating or saying something about the particular subject, which tells about the particular subject. For example, here the main person or the thing we are talking about, Suresh. And what is a predicate? Is a good boy in his class. Means what? The predicate tells about something about the subject. Something about the subject. So, Suresh is a subject. We are talking about a person, and is a good boy in his class is a predicate. We are saying something about the subject, something about the Suresh. I hope you understood. The sentence contains the subject and the predicate. Means the sentence contains mainly two parts. They are subject and the predicate. And you know one thing, always the subject means not only the name. The subject may be name of the person or anything also will be there that includes a subject, and the predicate will be always telling or saying about the particular subject. And most of the cases the subject will be at the starting point, but so occasionally the subject also will be after the predicate also. There is no particular rule always the subject will come first. So mostly it will come at the first only. But occasionally the subject may also come at the end of the after the predicate also. For example, if you want to know the example, cut baba. For example, I will show you one sentence in which you can see the subject used to come after the predicate. For example, here here comes here comes the bus. Here comes the bus. So here bus is the subject and this is the predicate. Here bus is the subject and this is the predicate. What I am trying to say means, so always mostly the subject will comes first of the sentence, but occasionally the subject may also comes after the predicate. After the predicate. So if you observe in this sentence, the subject is after the predicate. Here what is the subject? Bus. What is the predicate? Here comes. So in this sentence the bus is the subject which comes after the predicate. I hope you understood. So the sentence contains mainly two parts. They are the subject and the predicate. And subject, it might be a person or a thing we are talking about. What is the predicate? Predicate indicates or predicate say or predicate about the something about the subject. It says or it talks about the it says about the something of the subject. I hope you understood what is the subject and what is the predicate. Is it clear? And there is no need to explain once again. One simple subject means the person or thing we are talking about, and predicate means which it tells or say something about the subject, and always the subject will comes at the first of the sentence, but occasionally the subject may also comes after the predicate. This is about the sentence. Now next we are moving to the kinds of sentences. Kinds of sentences. How many kinds of sentences are there? You already know how many kinds of sentences are there. Now I am going to tell you the kinds of sentences. Kinds of sentences. How many kinds of sentences are there? There are mainly four kinds. Four kinds of sentences are there. What are they? They are assertive sentence, assertive sentence, or declarative sentence, assertive sentence or declarative sentence. And second one, interrogative sentence, interrogative interrogative sentence. And third one is the imperative sentence, imperative sentence. And the fourth one is the, any idea what might be the fourth one? It is nothing but exclamatory exclamatory sentence. So sentences are mainly divided into four types or four kinds. They are assertive sentence or declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, imperative sentence, and exclamatory sentence. Already you know this one, but I'll give some brief introduction about these types of sentences. So what is meant by the assertive sentence or the declarative sentence? The sentence which declares or which gives a statements, cut. So here the, what is meant by the assertive sentence or declarative sentence? The sentence that makes a statement or some assertion, it is called what? Assertive sentence or the declarative sentence. Which gives some statement like the sun rises in the east and he likes to eat the sweets. Some sentences which gives the particular statement or assertion, it is called what? Assertive sentence or the declarative sentence. Next is what? Interrogative sentence. The sentence that asks the questions, that asks the questions, it is called what? We used to call it as a interrogative sentence. Questions: who are you? Where are you going? Why are you late? So such type of sentences which asks the question, we used to call it as a interrogative sentence. Next is what? Imperative sentences. The sentences that contains the commands or request, we used to call that particular sentence as a imperative sentence. Command: get out of my class. You used to hear such type of words mostly in your class when you used to misbehave in your classroom from your teachers. Stand up on the bench. Get out from my class. Open your books. Don't shout in the class. Means such type of commands or requesting. Please give me some water. Please give me some books and all. So this type of commands or request which contains in the sentence, we call it as a imperative sentence. I hope you people are missing the imperative sentences, isn't it? Why? Because you're missing the class and the imperative sentences which we use, you're missing that. No problem, we will be back soon. Next, exclamatory sentence. The sentence which contains what? Exclamatory sentence means what? strong feelings, excitement feelings, sudden feelings, we call it as a exclamatory sentences. For example, oh my god, how beautiful it is. This type of sentences we used to call it as a exclamatory sentence. So I'm not explaining in detail because already you have learned in your previous classes and all. So I have just given the brief introduction. So today whatever I have said you, or why we have to learn the English grammar, and what is sentence, and kinds of sentences, just I want to just recall that one. So I have just given the brief introduction. From next class onwards we're going to into deep basics, not the basics, we can learn some more grammar points in the next classes. So after the end of this video I'm going to give some exercise so that you can do it and you can submit that answers to me. So this is for today's class, and I will meet in the next class. And one more, if you want to start the lesson, I want to start the syllabus. So you people should buy the textbooks. So without textbooks, I cannot move forward. So you people all should have the English textbooks while I used to teach the lessons for next class onwards. I hope you understood for today's class. Thank you. Students, now I have given some exercises in grammar for practice. The first exercise is the identifying the subject and the predicate, and the second exercise is I have given some sentences. You have to identify which type of sentence it is and submit your answers to my personal number. I hope you understood. Thank you.